Hello again, everybody. It's Scott Casper. This is Takedown Wrestling. We're going to continue our coverage of the sport with a very special guest taking the Nike hot seat. Well, she's one of the most talented in the country, a recent gold medalist at the Pan Am Wrestling Games down in Chile, in Santiago. It's Sarah Hildebrandt. Sarah, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. I know Tony and I are very interested to talk to you. You've had some incredible performances as of late. We're on the very threshold of the U.S. Open, the 2015 edition that'll take place at the South Point Arena in Las Vegas. First of all, and we'll get back to the U.S. Open. Let's take our viewers back just a little bit. You've been wrestling for how long? Let's set the stage.
This will be my 10th year, I'm pretty sure. 11th year.
11th year, and you're like number
Yeah.
one or number two in the country. How does that even happen?
A lot of hard work, a lot of people helping me out along the way, so
How did
it's
you
been a
get
good
started
ride.
how did you get started 10 years ago? Who introduced you to the sport?
Well, I started watching my brothers. I was drug around all those wrestling tournaments, those club ones, and I despised them. And so I guess I decided one day to be like, okay, I'm gonna just enjoy this. And I started watching, and I became obsessed. And like my brother was in middle school, and I was like the biggest fan ever. So once I got to middle school, the coach Raul Donati, he was like, "Hey, we don't have somebody small enough to wrestle 75 pounds. Will you wrestle for us just so we don't have to forfeit?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, yes!" So that's where it started.
So you've been able to be schooled by family, in other words, brought up through the sport by family, and then there was some folks that saw that glimmer of talent, that hope that a true competitor possesses, perhaps in the raw state. Talk to us a bit about that, because let's face it, being a dominant player on the U.S. level is one goal, but being a dominant player internationally, man, that comes through a lot of hard work.
Yeah. So my coach, Coach Donati, he was just kind of like, we won't throw you to the wolves. Like, just go out there. If it's a really big stud, we might not wrestle you. But I ended up wrestling all my matches in middle school and eventually winning conference. So he definitely helped me just to have confidence and just to get started. But Brad Harper is like, I owe so much, basically everything to him. My freshman year, he wasn't. It took him time to trust me and think I could do this. But as time went on, we just became like the dynamic duo. Like we would be working out at 5 in the morning, after practices, before practices, 4 or 5 times a day. And that's who I'm training with right now. It's who I trained with before World Team Trials and Pan Am. So he definitely has helped me come along all this way. And then eventually, once I got to college, Jason Mormon has, once I was already working hard and really involved in the sport, he kind of perfected my technique and my will and determination. So those two coaches really, really helped me.
Being around wrestling, and it's a male dominated sport, and I coach at the junior high level as well, and we've had a couple girls come out for wrestling, and we've had a tough time getting them getting them matches or getting them practice partners, and they feel intimidated sometimes. Did you, having brothers in, probably wrestling them at home, did you ever feel intimidated to wrestle a boy, or have you had a wrestling partner that has been a girl growing up?
I didn't wrestle girls growing up at all, no. So I was always just with the guys. And yeah, I think it was good having my brothers. They beat me up at home, so it was like once I got into the wrestling room, it was kind of like, okay, I'm used to this. And then I also wanted to like prove myself, like I can do this as well. So it was more of like a pride and determination thing versus being like nervous or held back.
So going up through high, middle school and high school, you ended up going to King University, and there's some women's clubs programs that are coming along, and more college programs. When you were making your college decision, was there how many options were there for you at that time?
I want to say only about 12, maybe 14. There weren't a ton. And even then, within those 12, I only like seven of them were, as serious as I wanted the program to be. So I was pretty limited down to King and Oklahoma City, where I knew I had to, choose between one of those two schools.
How did you choose between King? I mean, I understand Jason Mormon, but at OCU you've got Archie Randall.
Yeah, it was. I thought I was going to OCU the entire time. I was just set on going there. My parents basically drugged me to the visit. They bribed me with shopping to go to King. And, I went there and I met the girls, and me and Jason really clicked. And then I was actually being interviewed for my school paper, and they're like, "Where are you going to school?" And I hadn't made a decision. I was just like, King. And I was
Wow.
like, "Well, I guess I'm going to King." And it just kind of was like spontaneous gut. And I'm glad I trusted my gut because I really, really loved King.
What's been the educational experience like for you at King? I got to believe it's been pretty positive.
Yeah. Well, schooling is just crazy because of my training schedule, and I'm always on the road with USA Wrestling and then King Wrestling as well. So my professors worked with me so, so much and really well, and allowed me to maybe turn in work late or work on things while I was overseas. So I really enjoyed it. I'm kind of sad that I'm going to be done with school because I really do enjoy learning and just getting to know people who aren't wrestlers. It's fun to be in the classroom and stuff. So I really loved school.
You don't have to stop learning. I'm a lifelong learner. Ask my accountant.
Yeah, true. Very true.
They always say, "Well, did you mean to write this down?" No, I don't. Anyway, so our guest is Sarah Hildebrandt. You're still in Granger, Indiana, right?
Yes,
Okay, and you have a puppy?
I do. Zeppelin. His name is Zeppelin. He's somewhere around here,
Okay.
probably sleeping or eating.
And who takes care of him when you're on the road so much?
My dad. He is so in love with this dog. He originally lived with me back when I was in Tennessee, and then I brought him home because my landlord had enough of him, and my dog and my dad fell in love. So they're in love.
All right, so you have a wonderful companion for your dog, and that's great. Gives your dad some love too. Your degree
Yeah.
at King, your degree is in marketing.
Yes.
What do you hope to use that for?
Okay, well, in the long run, I want to be a wedding planner because I love celebrations and I love weddings.
But you must love
So,
winning.
so I guess, I wanted to go into marketing because it's a little more, free range in what you want to do. It's not like finance or accounting. It's so strict and really, really hard. But, and start my own business, start my own wedding planning, and hopefully plan weddings for superstars.
Well, and maybe that's the ultimate goal. Maybe that's what we call you, Sarah, the wedding planner Hildebrandt. Maybe that's
I like that.
yeah, that could be your new nickname. I may introduce you in Las Vegas as
Oh,
Sarah the
I'm
wedding.
down for that.
Well,
People will be like, "What
I've
the?"
given a lot of folks nicknames. I mean, you take a look at Nick Simmons, the East Lansing Strangler, and that has stuck.
Great,
So
it'll stick, and then it'll be like marketing for my business, Sarah the
you are
wedding planner.
the
Hillary.
wedding planner. Help me remember that. All right, so
All right.
let's just get back to business at hand. The U.S. Open takes place next week in Las Vegas at the beautiful resort that you say your father's been there, and it's the
Yes.
South Point Hotel, Casino and Spa Arena and Equestrian Center. And I'm pumped up to be there. My boys from Arena Cross are there tonight, finishing up their season. It's an outstanding facility. What do you make of this whole move from the Las Vegas Convention Center? It's been there 24 years, and now it goes to an actual arena.
Yeah. At first, I was a little sad. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm used to routine, how everything is. I sit here, I warm up there." Um, but at the same time, I'm really excited. It's going to be an actual place, so I kind of like big settings, big areas. I feel like I perform well there, so I think it'd be a good change. I'm really pumped.
I am too. And again, Sarah, you originally as an athlete were a ballerina, uh,
Yes.
and which I don't have a hard time believing at all. It seems like those that dance can also wrestle, and wrestlers can dance. I'm perhaps the one lone recipient of no talent below the knees, but Jason Moorman said that you have an ability and an advanced skill to move your feet. Where does that come from?
I don't know. Yeah, I danced. This is the first year that I've wrestled longer than I danced. So I danced my whole entire life, and then I played soccer for a while as well. So I guess just playing sports growing up, and I did a lot of running, and I don't know.
It must
I
have
think
been
that
ballet.
plays into wrestling.
Do you think as we market to try to get more girls to come out for the sport at a younger age, just to get them around to it, do you think maybe we hit up gymnasts, hit up the dancing classes, and just say, hey, come out for wrestling practice, see what it's all about. I think
Yeah, definitely.
I think
Um,
maybe
Go ahead, sorry.
a little bit of a struggle that I think people have if it's just a boys' sport and it's turned into so much more. It's now you guys are a standalone. You get to I love it because you guys get your own events and we're in a big arena next weekend and it's you guys, you gals, have been able to help grow our sport into a wider audience, and
Yeah.
it's been great things.
Do you
Yeah, I
believe,
think it's really doing a lot for the sport of wrestling in general.
Sarah?
And I think approaching like gymnasts and ballerinas are great because, I mean, to this day, I do bar workouts. So I'm still in the dance room, and it requires a really great athlete to do those sports. And I think that just plays into wrestling as well. You definitely got to be athletic. So
We just started bar in our gym, and I haven't, obviously. But anyway,
you
Sarah,
should.
Sarah, let's talk about the competition. Obviously, you're going to be battling the best in the U.S., and the ultimate goal, of course, is for an opportunity to wrestle at the World Team Trials in Madison, and then back to the World Championships in Las Vegas in September. This is a tremendous opportunity. Following on the heels of your gold medal performance in Santiago, what are your plans? What have you changed as far as your training goes? And we'll take it from there.
Um, I'm really excited that I got to compete in Pan Am's before the U.S. Open. It had been a while since I competed, so just getting that weight cut and that adrenaline back in from competing. Training wise, I was fighting an injury but going into Pan Am, so I had to really do a lot of running and just withdrawal and wrestling, and I've healed up a bunch. So now I'm back on the mat, training pretty hard, just a lot of live and watching a ton of film and just critiquing everything about me and really looking into my opponents as well. So I think that's going to be such a short time in between these two competitions. So, not a lot of time to do a whole bunch, but just working hard and critiquing last little bit things.
Sarah Hildebrandt is our guest, either number one or number two at her weight. King University will be graduating from King this, next month actually, or this month. Are we there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy May Day. So in many
Did you give me a
ways,
basket?
I did not get a basket. I'm sad about that. Perhaps that's why I did not know it was May Day. But she's joining us on the heels of her gold medal performance in Santiago, Chile, and of course she'll be expected to compete and compete well. Many are selecting you as the champion of the U.S. Open, but boy, there's a lot of work to do between now and then. Who do you expect to be facing at the U.S. Open? Who do you expect to be your greatest competitors?
Well, there's talk about Helen going down to 53. So if she is down at 53, I would imagine that Jakara Winchester would be my biggest competitor there. And, we've met up at the Open before and many times. So she's definitely somebody that I am watching film on and training against. And as well as Michaela Hutchison and Kayla Miracle. Those are also two other girls that I know will be competing and tough competitors there.
So that's at 53, right? Or 55?
That's a 55.
Okay,
At 53, yeah, I'm going 55 for the Open.
Okay,
and,
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So you've got Helen Maroulis and Medina, and I mean, there's some tough women in this class.
Yeah. Yeah, that's down at 53. I won't be going 53 for the Open, so.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if Helen is going to be at 53 or not. Of course, I expect her to see her at, all of these tournaments. So we've met up quite a few times in the finals now. So I definitely always have my eye on that match.
There's so many talented women between 58, 55, and 53. It's hard to pick a winner based on just talent alone. But I think positive and forward momentum that you've developed. Larry Barnson, for example, the director of the event in Las Vegas mentioned you specifically. The tournament director of the Open mentioned you specifically as one of the girls to keep an eye on, and I believe that to be true. USA Wrestling, of course, very competitive, and I think the fans are lucky. They're going to be able to watch you on Universal and NBC Sports Network. Of course, hear this interview, watch this interview on Takedown Radio, and we appreciate you taking the time to join us. We hope you send us a picture of your puppy.
I will.
Put your puppy on the big TV show as well. But is there any final point or question? You know, we just added 2 more women's college programs.
Yeah, well, I want you to be thinking about in your marketing degree here how we market to young girls thinking about maybe taking the leap into the sport. Think what we can do or what you can do to help us grow that.
Oh, that's okay. Ball's back in your court, Hildebrandt. Here we go.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's something I would love to pursue, and try and get out there and give back to wrestling. So, yeah, I'll be thinking about that. That's a good idea.
All right. So, in closing, we always ask who you would like to thank, sponsors, associated clubs, who backs you up emotionally, financially, mentally. Who are those folks?
Well, definitely my parents, Nancy and Chris. They do so much for me mentally and financially and everything. They're just amazing. As well as my coaches, Brad Harper and then Jason Moorman. And then just recently I signed on with New York Athletic Club. So I guess a big shout out to them for welcoming me to their club and helping me out to get to Vegas. So
yeah, no doubt. New York Athletic Club, man. They've been around for a long, long time. Our guest has been Sarah, the wedding planner Hildebrandt, on the program, and we're going to try our best to continue that. Sarah, thank you for the time today. Congratulations on the recent performance in Santiago. It was outstanding, helping the Team USA to come away with an incredible performance, really, in all divisions, men's, women's, and, of course, Greco. So outstanding job by you and the rest of the team, and we look forward to seeing you in Las Vegas, Nevada at the South Point Arena.
all right, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
For all of us at Takedown, for Tony Hager, I'm Scott Casper. Our Nike Hot Seat guest is the wedding planner, Sarah Hildebrandt. Thanks for watching.